Welcome back. We're gearing up for Game 5 as Team Liquid take on OpTic Gaming. It's time to jump into the starting roster. Selecting blue side, it is Team Liquid. In the top lane, Impact. In the jungle, Smithy. In the mid lane, Pobelter. Bot, Double Lift, support, Ole, and their coach, Kane.
And facing them off on the red side, it's going to be OpTic Gaming. Top lane, they're going to be running Dokla today, just like they did yesterday, with a Kadeen in the jungle, who had a really good performance yesterday with Power of Evil. Maybe he's got a pocket pick, AP Ezreal yesterday. And then Arrow and Lemonation as that bot support duo with Coach Zabutin.
I certainly hope he's got something cooked up, but while Team Liquid's win yesterday might have seemed like an upset to some, on the LCS launch, Echo Fox top laner Huni actually predicted Team Liquid to win, citing their ability to play better as a team.
Remember, they beat Cloud9, who was at the top of the standings, and this is something that you didn't really associate with Team Liquid's roster, that they had this great teamwork at the beginning, but they showed that yesterday when they beat Cloud9, and Double Lift had cited that we hadn't seen Team Liquid's true form prior to Week 8, and it certainly seems like something has changed as the team found its stride at the last possible minute, but this is the best time to find that.
Well, right now they're playing for positioning in playoffs versus OpTic Gaming, who showed some more style in their win over Counter Logic Gaming.
Yeah, Power of Evil broke out that AP Ezreal we talked about and did an insane amount of damage in that game, which is really the most Power of Evil way to end the split, as he's had a stellar premiere in North America, but the standings don't really reflect that of his performance.
No, I think that's, again, for OpTic, obviously a disappointing season for their first entrance into the LCS, but there'll be more splits to play, and at least they've got one more game to go home with, and if they upset Liquid here, first of all, if you like League of Legends, I'm sorry, we will get significantly less bonus games.
Bonus games, yeah.
But maybe you guys could go home sane and a little earlier than you might have. Like, I don't know what the crowd wants. I don't know what I want. I'm just here for the ride, Zyrene.
You don't know what you want? Okay.
I love League of Legends. I probably want more.
Yeah, if TL win, we have to play 5 games. If OpTic win, there's only a single game that has to be played, and that's between Echo Fox and 100 Thieves.
And in both situations, we will be playing that game first. So do not go too far after this game ends, no matter what the result is, because Fox vs 100 Thieves will play for first.
Yeah, when I saw this, I was thinking, yeah, TL, they're definitely favored against OpTic. But then when I saw I was casting this game, I got a Zyrene stat for you.
Okay.
How many of TL's 7 losses have I cast?
7?
I've cast 6 of them. There was only one time that I was casting a TL game, or that somebody else was casting one of their losses.
Who was that?
And now I'm back. I think it was Azale.
Oh!
But like TL fans were like, "Are you casting today?" They kept tweeting me.
They're playing OpTic.
I am casting today for TL.
All right.
We will see.
We'll see. Power Reaver's got a big smile on his face, but let's forget about the future. We've got the present to concern ourselves with right now. Braum and Gangplank banned by TL. Olaf and Skarner banned by OpTic.
So they're banning those junglers away. Acadian yesterday had actually performed really well on the Zac, had really great engages. And I think that he was somebody that, I think he wants to favor that style more. Engages, not so much just run at your face type champions. So they're just taking those off the board, away from Smithy, who has always favored kind of those types of champions. Especially that Olaf. It's been like a pocket for him for a long time.
Yeah, certainly someone that I felt like in some ways kind of followed in the path that Reignover set before a lot of junglers here locally, but certainly has stood out in his own right with a very successful year last year. Swain is up as Zaya and Orianna get banned, and Swain is first pick, surprising no one.
Yeah, well, Swain, very powerful, had a lot of changes, a lot of buffs. The Q cooldown, the radius of the W making it easier to land, and then the E radius also was increased as well.
Yep, got a model update, looks cooler, voice a little more edgy, it's all there. As Doppler's going to flash the ribbon.
But also it's a flex pick, right? You don't know if that's going over to Pobelter like we saw Bjergsen play earlier, or if you don't know if it's going over to that top lane and Impact is playing.
Well, there is the Zac you mentioned for Acadian.
Seems to suit him.
Yep, I have to think so. We'll see what OpTic want to pick here. You mentioned flex. We talked already about the Ezreal from PoE. Certainly is a flex they could opt into here if they wanted. Arrow is a very good Ezreal player as well. But it looks like he wants a stronger laning AD. Varus and Caitlyn both fit that bill.
Yeah, Caitlyn is kind of the top AD right now, aside from Zaya. I think Zaya's like #1, especially with Rakan.
Yep.
And then you have like Caitlyn. Varus is a little bit less self-sufficient, so you have to have a team around him that enables him. So looking for some sort of peel. And I think that Varus usually in mage support metas actually favors a little bit more because he has Black Shield on him. Janna's are really good pairing with him because he's not self-sufficient and his peel tools are not his own. Having some help is what is necessary.
Well, I have a feeling that Caitlyn and Tahm Kench might go over to Team Liquid here. There is the Tahm Kench. Ole has had a good split so far on the champion. Again, we're defending the likes of a player like Double Lift. Always good to have something ready. Belter is playing with the hearts of the crowd.
We'll see what Double Lift goes for here. Yesterday, he actually went for the Jin. We just saw Cody-san play that as well.
Double Lift does like to beat people up, as it turns out, in lanes, and looks like you may be on the money there. Cycle through 4 champions and pick Jin. Conspiracy.
Yeah, when Double Lift likes a champion, he likes a champion.
Oh, yeah.
He will just stick with it and just play it as many times as he can. It's kind of like, hey, Tristana for a long time, Caitlyn. It's like,
I keep winning. How can it be bad?
Exactly. And so right now, Jin back-to-back in week 9, the week that TL, they were almost out of playoffs, right? They had to win yesterday and today to lock that spot because CLG was right behind them. And it's going to be another Camille for Dokla.
And I like this. I mean, it's a champion that Doku's very comfortable on. He's had certainly kind of a rough entrance into the LCS, but almost any rookie top laner would coming in on a team that has been in the bottom of the standings since he joined pretty much. It's not like he was swooping in as a veteran to save this team. So it's a last game. Give him something he can maybe perform on. And that's something that he is comfortable with.
And I think we've seen a lot of teams panic and say it's a tank meta in the top lane and then force their carry-typed player to actually play something that's not really in their wheelhouse. And then we've seen some teams correct for it, where it's like, oh, Licorice will have him on Cloud9, play, GP, we'll play Lucians and stuff like that. And I think that's what OpTic are doing with Dokla, saying we don't want to put you on things that are uncomfortable. Instead, we're going to put you on these champions that are in your wheelhouse and play for comfort here at the end of the split.
Still a big question on Swain as well. You mentioned it after the first pick. Is a flex pick here as Ryze gets banned by Team Liquid, taking away another mid laner from Power of Evil, but he's certainly got plenty in his pockets to try and pick from. 10 seconds for this final ban by OpTic, though. So they go after another one of Impact's champions. They do, taking Cho'Gath away. Kind of shore up Dokla's matchup there in the 1v1.
Making sure that they don't play some Omega tank into him, but Ornn's still on the table, fares pretty well. Impact has been favoring things like the Cho'Gath and stuff recently. Played the Ornn yesterday, so that might just be his go-to here. Yeah,
I wonder what Team Liquid would think about banning. Cassio was going to be my guess, and good ban away again, protecting the Swain. Because I think we're somewhat leaning towards that for the lane that he's going to, but we'll have to see. Impact doesn't strike me as a Swain player, but certainly not incapable of picking it.
Yeah, I actually got to talk to Skara, former pro player and former coach.
Current Swain streamer.
Exactly, current Swain streamer, about what he thinks about Swain and like why it's finding success. Because right now in solo queue, its win rate is actually a little bit higher in the top lane.
Hello,
in the mid lane. And that's because there's a lot of escape routes in mid, and when you're a low mobility champion, it doesn't really affect you that much, so you can just go different routes and etc. Whereas in top lane, it's a long lane, and there aren't really many counters that people have found to Swain top lane. He's kind of like old school Kayle, where it's like, oh, how do I beat this guy in lane? I guess you kind of just have to take the beating that he delivers. And so he's a very powerful and potent flex pick because he wins pretty much all matchups top. And then in mid lane, he has some pretty big combos that he can do with phase rush and also the extended radius of his E and W.
Certainly a lot to play for, but I imagine that Zilean support for Lemon. I guess we'll find out. Sejuani is the lock-in for Xmithy. I think your thought on Ornn makes a lot of sense here for Liquid. Certainly, Impact has always performed on tank champions. Ornn kind of feels like something Impact knows his way around. He's been bullying on it. He's been very effective with the TPs, which is an Impact special, and he will lock that in now as Team Liquid fighting to be in the 5-way tie. I guess it's a 4-way tie for them.
Yeah, it would be a 4-way tie, but there would be 5 games to play.
Because he's still got to break that tie for first.
Exactly. Right now, OpTic, like you said, this Zilean may just be for Lemonation because having somebody who can speed up your Varus is really good. Karma also on the table. I wonder if it's something they'll go for, but could be a PoE special bringing out something new at the end.
Ziggs is locked in here. Alrighty, Power of Evil, we're going to play kind of a throwback champ in a lot of ways. Haven't seen Ziggs in mid lane especially for a long time.
Well, I bet you at this point in the game, in the draft, Double Lift is just going, oh man, this sucks, because every time you set up as Jhin, you're going to have a bomb flying right at you. It's trade ulti for ulti on that one.
And if nothing else, if OpTic can find some snowballing around this Ziggs, there is a lot they can do to knock down turrets and just accelerate the game. And that very well may be the plan, to say, you know what, I'm not expecting to really beat you guys in a longer scrap, so we're just going to try and beat you early.
Yeah. Right now, OpTic have good wave clear, they have decent team fighting, and then they have good split push, but I don't feel like the Camille will flat out beat the Ornn for a very long time. And then on the opposite side, double TP is potentially what TL are going to run here with the Swain mid. and then they have decent team fight, but it's a lot of sustained team fight damage. Their tanks need to be pretty much even in their matchups to sustain the damage that they would take here. But getting into these fights is going to be rough for TL because you have chains of corruption, you have bombs on the ground, and then you also have bombs on the ground again, Gazillion and Ziggs.
Yeah, and again, plenty of good initiation on the other side there for OpTic. Camille and Zach both very good at going in early and often. So a fun one here, kind of as expected for OpTic as they close out their season, looking for an upset over Liquid. Just want to be in consideration. How many extra games do we get, Is it 1 or 5?
Well, it's also really big because if it's only 1, that puts TL in 6th place. They would be automatically put in that position. So OpTic, they wouldn't just upset, this in this game. It would upset the standings and put TL very low.
I think there has to be a number of fans cheering for OpTic here in this one. TL fans are not among them, as we'll see how this game breaks out.
I mean, OpTic beat CLG yesterday. I think the CLG fans are now like, you know what, OpTic, you got to bring somebody down, right? You just transfer over. You're like, come on, do it for CLG now.
You can't just do that to CLG and not win again. Well, we'll see.
But at the same time, it's like TL has 3 former CLG members on it, so it's like, CLG fans are used to this type of thing. It's like,
Apex dancing away as we spread out under the rip. Power Revel's first bomb misses. It's a bait though, hello! Ole's like, oh, I didn't expect this at all.
Party in the bush!
Oh, flash already used by Elimination. The route onto Power Revel needs to find a flash out of the way! But Smithy early flashes just to cover it. And first blood over to Double Whip.
Oh, woo! First blood, yes, for Double Whip there, but PoE doesn't burn his flash and Smithy looks a fool jumping over.
It was a ruse all along. He knew he was dead. He just got himself a free flash out of the deal. That's what he'll be typing in chat regardless. As Team Liquid off to a good early start. I like his attempt by OpTic with TL already.
Yeah, Pobelter actually starts E. He gets it onto Power of Evil, and then the Swain passive is that pullback where you just get to pull him back a little bit further. It's an extra bit of CC there. But Smithy flashing over. Whew.
I mean, if you're going to use a flash in that spot, might as well be the junglers, I suppose, as Dokla. Ooh, oh.
Ah.
I mean, kind of hard to steal that one, but certainly made an attempt at it.
That's where, as Dokla, I go like, who smites it? Who does that? What? He didn't see me. That's just like a really Smithy thing to do, is make sure that all the options are covered. I mean, he just flashed early, so yeah. He's definitely a covering the options kind of guy.
Safety man. And does cover the potential invade. Goku was missing. I'm sure Impact called that out as well. And things will start off well for Double Lift, which is always a bad sign when playing up against Team Liquid. Smithy actually invading already, takes down the Blast Cone from Acadian. Don't think there's too much more left in that invade, though.
Yeah, he also saw that Acadian hadn't done his red buff. So it looked like he knows it's a Raptor start, and then he gets to go ahead and get that information and move over to the side.
Does do so. Smithy, as you said, on his Raptors. Acadian just finishing off his blue side jungle, has it all up right now. Really getting pushed in early. You can see Pobelter really abusing a lot of these routes. That lightning gets blocked by the minions, though. Got to find some pretty tight angles sometimes to hit the champion. But Pobelter's still up ahead and pushing this lane.
Yeah, and I want to talk about Swain really quickly because a lot of people were messing around with like Airy, Electrocute, and even Summoner Spellbook on him. But Phase Rush has kind of emerged as the one that people take now because the passive actually counts as an ability towards it. So you land your E, and then you pull. That's actually 2 right there. All you have to do is use a Q, auto, anything like that. So despite like the W being a pretty hard ability to land, you don't have to land it to proc Phase Rush, and it's quite easy to actually get it off.
Yep, same theory as why Electrocute was good, but I think you just favor the mobility. And kind of seeing builds homogenize as well. See if Pobelter does diverge in the Rod of Ages, Zhonya's, Leandri's path.
Yeah, it's all over the place. Even when I asked Ara, he was like, I really don't know. People will just build like Leandri's and stuff that's really good, but it's still up in the air. And like I said earlier, Smithy saw that Acadian hadn't done his red buff, so he actually returns to that top side and gets it.
Yep, and this is kind of a general trademark of Smithy's play. He's very good at working with information. So does manage to move that still in. Acadian's going to lose a lot of value out of that side of his jungle.
It's a greedy start from Acadian because Dokla, what happened was Dokla was going in to invade the blue buff, and that means he doesn't get a leash topside. So Acadian starting on his Raptors instead of red, and decides not to be on his bottom side either. So he gets a leashless start on his top side, which slows him down. And so Smithy kind of extrapolated that, invaded, said, okay, confirmed he doesn't have red, goes to that side. It's incredibly smart, and it's a heads-up play but it's like Acadian was selfless to let Dokla invade. And Smithy smote, which is like really unusual for junglers to do, but he outplayed it in these small little situations.
Nation actually getting some decent harass down. Gonna keep following through. Arrow, yeah, gonna force out the Devour from Olay. They're trying to make it work in the 2v2. Both Varus and Jhin, very good aggressive ADs. Jillian, of course, with that range, just have some advantages, but Olay's playing nicely to play back here and harass them down. Root dodge there by Arrow. Elimination still trying to go in for it. And again, Olay will eat some slows, eat some damage.
That was a heal already used from Arrow.
Yeah, running a little too low on health by the looks of things. Acadian here in mid, they're looking for Pobelta. Swain is very immobile, great satchel into the knockback, perfect CC chain, and Power of Evil takes down Pobelta.
Ooh, that was a bounce house if I've ever seen one. Pobelta really didn't get to move or do anything at all there. So Acadian, once again, that Zac from yesterday teaming up with PoE. Looks like a winning combo here for OpTic. We'll see that one more time. We'll see if Pobelta even does get to do anything. He's airborne, he's knocked back, he's airborne, stunned. Has a moment there at the end, but he's like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
100%.
He knows it too, so conserves his summoner, but still gonna lose his life in the exchange. The player we kind of did want to shine some spotlight on here in PoE is off to a good start, which is always nice for OpTic. He's got that tier. Looks like he will be going for a Seraph. I guess I forgot to check in with Ziggs because they haven't seen Ziggs in a while, but tier certainly makes sense. We'll see what else he does as the game goes on.
Yeah, Mage has kind of got a lot tankier, so it's weird because you would be like, okay, the people who were already safe are now even safer and more frustrating to kill. So it's like you're going to go tier on Ziggs. It feels really good. He doesn't need more wave clear, so I wonder if he'll even go for Luden's Echo afterwards. Seems like a lot, but some people do end up going for that build. But just the defenses from the Seraph's Embrace feel really good, and it's stuff that you weren't really given previously as Ziggs.
Well, we'll check in with bot lane now, actually. Double Lift already with a BF sword built. Pickaxe there for Arrow. We've seen a decent amount of this with Rageblade versus non-Rageblade. Arrow going to be on worse components for a little while longer, but a better one item once he gets there.
Yeah, wants to stay in lane as long as possible and just get over that power trough where he doesn't have to back with worse items. Lemon being aggressive on Olay.
Oh, Bro gets rooted though. Olay is here lining it up, but a good stun from Lemon is going to prevent the follow-up from Tahm Kench. Still a little low though. Lemon only with a coin upgrade right now. So, you know, picking up some coins off the ground is getting some golden mana back, which is nice for Zillion, but no real combat stats at all.
Yeah, feels like you're just going to take a beating in that bottom lane, especially with the first blood and the longsword going over. It does feel really bad, and that's one of the reasons that we're seeing this large CS advantage was not only just the pressure in the way that OpTic have played it, it's pretty much TL had this advantage from the get-go. And even with a Zillion, I feel like TL still hit level 6 first, but we'll see. Yeah, I think they do. Zillion will usually like get you that level with his passive and that extra experience, but TL I think are just a little bit ahead. A little bit too far ahead, actually.
UB
almost 20 CS. That's crazy.
Threat again, but not going just yet as Acadian. I think Pobelta is playing a little more respectfully now. Slingshot in. Pobelta not going to burn the flash. Doesn't dodge the strike though, but still not enough there. Smithy actually also here, but the bomb is going to do some poke damage to the Sejuani. Ultimate use there. So not much gain there. Double Lift steps forward. Wants to try and take down Lemon, but Lemon does have his ultimate. Oh, they're going to wait it out. Now they have to block the Jhin bullets. Ulti about to wear off for Lemon. Does wear off now, but Arrow has to tank it as a result. Tough trade there for the OpTic bot lane.
I feel like you don't block it and just let him die so that the ulti goes off.
Hard to say. Then Double Lift can hold his bullets, right?
I mean,
kind of a tough spot. Hard to say. What do you think, Siren? I'm here to listen to you.
I think that he should just not be in the way at the start.
Okay, well.
And then when it's like about to fall off, then you get in the way, but like, I don't know.
All right,
anyway,
regardless of what happens.
Regardless.
Lots of damage done there. Bot lane going to be forced to recall, but on the OpTic side, Double Lift continuing to get aggressive as his Warhammer built now.
I actually really like that from Double Lift because what he wants to do is force backs where the Varus is in this really crappy spot where he's like, I gotta buy a blasting wand. But luckily for Arrow, it's not that bad just yet. He's at this point where he still has all of that adaptive stats in AD and not AP. But the next one where if Double Lift is able to buy a big ticket item or start moving towards his Essence Reaver a little bit further, even if he backs like in the next 860 gold and forces it back from Arrow, it puts Arrow in a bad spot. So if you can force the enemy's hand in terms of what they purchase, then that's one of the next level things you can do in bottom lane.
TL been very active regardless here. Oh, they're getting the blast going down as OpTic start to throw down a defensive control ward there. TL though taking over the river and enough space and enough vision control to take this Infernal Drake.
Ooh. Speaking of tiers, Lemonation has his own now. So, gonna try to stack that one up and be maybe another AP threat later in the game. You do cast a lot of spells, but that doesn't matter a whole lot when TL, I don't know if you'll even get to that point. TL, pick up that Infernal Drake 9 minutes in the game.
Again, combat stats not feeling too hot for Lemon, but kind of like Tarek, does want a big mana pool. We'll see if it works out as the game pushes on. Dokla, as we check back in, Impact is pretty far ahead in CS actually, but Dokla is trying to get some stuff done here in the matchup.
Yeah, saw Impact actually bopping Dokla pretty early on, almost killed him.
Almost.
Still has pressure.
Not good enough, thankfully for Dokla, so see if he can kind of maintain this deficit or even catch back up. Impact though is kind of making him pay just 1v1. This is certainly something that Impact is known for in so many different matchups. Leave him on an island, you give him a tank, it somehow beats you.
Yeah, and especially for Camille, because Camille is more of a late game type champion or a mid game type champion. 2-item spike is very potent for her, and her build just ended up with more AD later on too because of things like Guardian Angel. But right now, Dokla has the ultimate, and he has people kind of roaming up, but no, it looks like they're going to call it off. Both PoE and Acadian say, nope, lost cause, not going.
Yeah, not quite enough here to really pressure, so Impact will just freeze the wave as best he can, denies 1 CS, and TL up 1,000 gold. Plus that Infernal Drake, mostly just from some really strong farming.
All their lanes are winning. Literally every single person on their team has more farm than the next person on the other team, so goes to jungle, goes to support, everywhere.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I think, was the initial thing people were thinking of when they saw this Team Liquid lineup, is their individual power seems so strong that they just win every lane, snowball every game, and kind of go from there, which is what we saw in the early stages for this team. Certainly have grown in scope as a team since then, and they can have another good-looking game after a great performance yesterday, certainly putting themselves in the right position as they move in towards that playoff.
Yeah, but right now they're 4-4 in the second half of the split on Team Liquid's side, and like I had said previously, if they end up losing this game, it would put them in that 6th place, and they wouldn't even play a tiebreaker to climb up the standings. A first-round bye is, of course, not even on the table anymore, since 100 Thieves and Echo Fox have claimed those, but getting 3rd, 4th, and 5th is definitely something that you want.
Yeah, the difference is pretty big. So TL again just trying to close out the regular season game strong. A long day for a lot of these teams, most likely, but we'll see what OpTic still have in store. Not too far behind just yet, maintaining that 1,000. Acadian is trying to be proactive once again. Mid laners have both finished their first items. I think after that kind of one mishap in mid lane, Pobelta and Xmithia have realized, okay, we'll just play coverage here. We know they want to snowball PoE, and our other lanes are winning. In fact, even our mid is winning, so we can just calm things down a bit and make sure Acadian doesn't sneak in.
Exactly. Just kind of play the control game, make sure that they aren't able to snowball any of these lanes. And I like that Pobelter didn't even use his flash in that panic situation, because you saw Acadian come around again, and it was like, okay, he would have, if Pobelter had used his flash, Acadian would have used his there and then used his ultimate because he was already level 6. So it's a situation where Pobelter had kept his cool and knew that, hey, if I use this, it's just even worse in the future.
You can see as a result, just took the one death. Things still going strong as TL try and take the first start here in this game. Doublelift and Ollie have been shoving so hard this entire laning phase. Again, Doublelift did get gifted first blood, which helps out, but Arrow is still looking for that first buy versus the Essence Reaver from Doublelift. Just feels so unfair.
Exactly, because he bought the Essence Reaver, and right now, there's the components and then 1,400 gold in the pockets of Arrow, and Doublelift is just saying, I'm going to shove this down. If you back, we get your turret. If you back before and only get a Blasting Wand when you took the Essence Reaver recall I did, you're in an awful situation. So Doublelift is actually crushing him down bottom here in terms of pressure, and the team is going to capitalize off this.
Yep, and that's enough pressure. I mean, Arrow just actually zoned off without a recall just yet. Maybe OpTic trying to find a fight, but Xmithia going to go in for it.
Jhin ulti. There it is.
Good there. Arrow now in trouble. Have to try and dodge the shots. Arrow going to eat the first few. Doublelift finds the snipe. Pobelta pops the ulti. Xmithia lets his go in celebration. And there's a kill and probably a blue buff over as well. PoE going to try and take it, but does not get it.
And this is how TL's wins have looked so clean. Laying off bottom.
Yeah, Lemonation in trouble. Ults himself, but I think it's just to delay the inevitable. Lemonation going to get CC'd up. Pobelta this time able to grab the kill.
That's one of those ones where you look over at Lemonation and you go, you had ulti that whole time?
Thinking emoji.
But it's just one of those fights where things are just going so wrong right from the get-go. Like, you don't have an item advantage. And even just look at Arrow's items now. He has Blasting Wand. It's an awful situation up against the Essence Reaver. I've talked about it a lot, but like Doublelift cares about these types of things and calls out bad backs from people. And then they go for a fight here where they have an advantage. It's a very distinct one. Even if it's a 4-on-4 in the enemy jungle, they win this one. You see the TP coming through as well from Impact. And then he cancels it. He's like, I am no longer needed.
Yeah.
Not necessary.
People do not need me today. We will. A bit of poke, some good, well-placed lightning, and Lemon's like, oh, I'm in the wrong spot. He'll say, yes, you are.
Cool.
Have an ulties, and then he dies.
It's so jarring as well because Swain, with the passive, like you just saw there, Doublelift lands a root. You get pulled even further back. It's like half, even I would say 3/4 of a flash range of a pull.
Yep.
And it just feels like if you eat a CC, you should have really just flashed beforehand because it's going to pull you the other direction. And you have to always take that into account because it's a passive on this guy. He can do it on multiple people. It's not even just, you know, a long cooldown ability or anything.
Yeah, and they've got Sedwani for CC, they've got On for CC, and to extend their CC, there's so many good things built into this comp for Team Liquid. See if they can continue that snowball, because right now they are almost 4,000 gold ahead. Looking for that mid outer turret is their next point of attack.
And literally everybody on the TL squad has a way to CC the enemy with a basic ability. Yep.
Just confirming for myself, you are correct. I guess Impact needs to combo, but still, 2 basic abilities. Make 1 decent CC.
Well, he just has to W and then hit him.
Oh, that's right, I haven't played enough on. We'll move on. It's Team Liquid. Get me away from these tanks in top lane. Give me the Power Real champion.
Ooh, yeah. Does have the Archangel Staff completed. Now we have the Ginsu's Rage Blade for Arrow, but he's pretty damn far behind.
Heavily played as Doklo is going to eat. Oh, he's still brittle. That feels so bad, man. Uses the ulti, but he's just going to set up his own death. Or is the Acadian? Who's going to make it in time? Lemon is here. Now they can maybe double bomb. Lemon needs to throw another one, but he hasn't got it just yet. Still, the damage is there. The ult from Lemon is good as Power of Evil. Cuts up the advance of Smithy. Takes him down. Impact. Oh, he gets knocked up. Not good news. The turret goes down, but let's talk about that later. OpTic get 2 kills.
Yep. 2 kills going over to PoE as well. We saw what he was able to do when he got kills on that Ezreal, and this will increase their wave clear and the stalling power for OpTic later, but they're losing turrets on this top side because Doublelift and Olay just pushing.
Yep, no need for Doublelift to do anything. Oop. Big ulti, gonna clear out. Oh, that's some bad timing, potentially. Wave's coming back up. Doublelift gonna stick around and take this turret with these. Oh, red buff fell off, so looks like with OpTic collapsing, they do defend their tier 2 turret.
Yeah, that looked like it was more for damage as opposed to actually just clearing the wave there. Like you said, would have been mistimed if it was for the latter. And now, OpTic looking at mid.
Guess so.
Oh, top lane, they got an interrupt.
Ooh, that's actually bad news there for Olay. They get knocked back around. Lemon gets slowed by Vision of Empire, but Olay still trying to get out of the way. Pull lands in onto Acadian. No pullback from Pobelta. Power of Evil here again. Knock back up. Acadian grabs the kill. OpTic starting to find some good picks here.
Yeah, right now they're just catching TL with their pants down constantly. Even though TL has a 3,000 gold lead here off of those turrets and the CS, these fights are really what OpTic want to have go their way. And they're landing on, once again, Acadian and Power of Evil, the 2 guys who really did step up yesterday.
Well, Power of Evil does dodge out of that setup as well. Kind of like what I saw from Pobelta. And Doublelift again using all that CC to try and find a pick under PoE. He gets out of it though. Looks like he's A-okay with that Seraph now transformed. Certainly poised to maybe take over yet another game. And even though it is still that turret lead for TL and that gold lead that goes with it, Ziggs knocks down turrets very quickly with some free time. So as OpTic start to get more picks, if they can continue to do so, this game will even up very quickly.
It'll even up in gold, but the gold will be in different positions because I'm looking at the gold right now. Like the top of the screen, it says 3,000 gold. That's actually the lead that Doublelift has over Arrow.
Oh, goodness.
Everybody else is pretty much even. It's like you just see like a few gold here and there, like Dokla's up about 250, but it's like Doublelift is actually just destroying that bottom lane by 3,000 gold. Doublelift is the gold lead at this point for TL.
And we talked about it. TL, it does seem like they play through bot lane a lot of the time, and with good reason. Doublelift is such an asset when he gets a lead. I will say they have proven that they can play without Doublelift necessarily needing to get as big in recent weeks, but still, that's kind of been plan A for TL, and plan A is looking pretty good so far.
I mean, it's been the best plan for them in terms of they started the split off against TSM, crushing through bottom lane with Doublelift and Olay. Then there was kind of this honeymoon phase was over for those two, and they were trying to figure out how they want to play together because they had very different styles. Doublelift likes to play lane, Ole likes to play the game and win the game and play the map. So now they figured out, hey, if we get some help, they can go ahead and section off bottom, use Xmithy and start pressuring. And we just saw them actually crack open the bottom much earlier.
TL still looking good here. Did take that Ocean Drake away. Infernal is the third one up for grabs. Let's see, a number of minutes away. Power of Evil, like you mentioned, pretty tough to get Ziggs out of this lane and not wave clearing. Lemon does juke away from the flourish by Double Lift. Landed on the trap though. Double Lift also just moving away from the poke. OpTic is trying to hold on to mostly this final outer turret here. Again, they can delay the game. And given that everything else on farm is looking good, if they can find a way to neutralize Double Lift or just get a man advantage in a fight before something major happens, you can certainly see the avenues in which OpTic can get their way back into this game.
And especially since Power of Evil has a lot of that gold and the fact that he's on this Ziggs, just the wave clear, the stall potential that he has on his champion is pretty disgusting. Like, the game could go a very long time because of it. So TL will have to look at Barons, they'll have to look at some plays that buff up their minions or split push, but I don't feel like they completely win the split push up against the Camille, who's now oppressing those 2 items. She's almost there.
Yeah, that opportunity force is nice.
And now it's 2 items for PoE. He has the Morellonomicon, and he has the Seraph's Embrace completed. And so every time Double Lift opens up, I'm expecting PoE to just throw a bomb on him.
Use that ulti. He's level 13 already, actually. Both the mid laners are doing well on experience there. Zilean probably helping out in that front whenever he can. OpTic, I think, feeling a little more comfy as they move through this one, but do want to open up the map a lot more. TL doing a good job not giving away too much. Just kind of playing their lanes. Pobelta right now, his side lane does have that TP that we mentioned earlier, but he's going to create a good amount of pressure here as Arrow actually moves up to answer that wave.
And so I'm actually just checking right now for my own curiosity, because right now it's kind of PoE versus Double Lift is kind of the way that this game looks like it's starting to go with where the gold is. And PoE, he has the 32 spell penetration, actually 33. Sorry, I had to do the math. Because we changed Sword Shoes to be 18 magic defense. So he has that. So Double Lift pretty much only has 2 MR against him, and PoE's ultimate right now would do about 730 damage. So if he throws that, it's going to take actually half of Double Lift's HP exactly.
Yeah, not a whole lot there for Double Lift, not quite at 1500. So again, certainly the obvious point for both these teams is here. OpTic stabilizing the gold lead, if nothing else, which is a good spot to be in, but still needs some map here. And Arrow is just taking the poke from Leandru, thrower Swain, trying to heal his way back up and work on a second item. Arrow probably has a lot of gold still built up, but has not gone and spent it just yet, and he is the most behind person.
Yeah, he's got 1,700 in the bank, but like, you just look at the inventories, he's actually a full item down. And
this PoE pops the Seraph, gonna get himself stunned, does have his flash, cleanses out, dodges the last bullet. Vision of Empire there as well. They might be able to turn him back around. Great flash from PoE, but he does get slowed on the other end of the field. The knockup lands in, but there's the ulti out from Lemon Nation. PoE just needs to maybe die before something else happens, but he satchels out of the way. Lemon Nation is gonna get slayed by Pobelta. Acadian almost gonna meet the same fate, but it's a trade kill. The ult from PoE will pick up the Sejuani. They're going back again. Dokla wants to find a kill. Pobelta smashes that stopwatch, but he's still dead.
Yeah, he still drops there. And that was an opening from Double Lift, starting that fight with Xmithy, and it's actually a win for OpTic in a 1-for-2.
Happy to sacrifice Lemon. He's probably not very happy about it, but he'll take the trade. OpTic, any trade you can get right now is good for you.
Yeah, and the Zilean just making it so that PoE wasn't focused any longer. This pick is going to have a lot of value in it because not only is there the Seraphs, which just absorbs so much, you're also going to have that Zilean on top of it. So PoE, he actually plays this really well. He satchels, then he'll cleanse as fast as he can. He sidesteps that one, doesn't go through the Vision of Empire. Then he's gonna flash the wall here, and then he goes back just a tiny bit and almost dodges that slow. It looked like it was just a second or like a half a second away, just a few pixels there. And then he doesn't get focused down because he gets to go to the other side, keeping him alive, and that's where he gets to kill Xmithy.
And then the impact made his way in. Dokla was late, but enough to scoop up another kill. And now game goes again. Dokla is going to dive Double Lift. That's a good kill if you can get it. Root's going to get dodged out of the way, but here comes the ulti. Lemon Nation tanking it. Power Evil out of the zone. Everybody escapes. OpTic starting to kind of pick up with their pick now.
Yeah.
Not done, apparently.
I'm actually surprised PoE didn't throw his ulti there. I think that may have killed Doublelift because he was below half HP. But it's just, you have to find that time as you're running to like look at where the Jhin is. And if he's in Fog of War, you have to like kind of triangulate his position based on the outline of his ulti.
Root onto Acadian, but decently tanky. Has the Spirit Visage and Cinderhawk finished. We'll need some armor, but be on the way. If not, at least some health will be. Roboto, sorry, he's going in, pulls back there in onto the Lemon Nation, but he ults himself. He's trying to buy some time. Not bad, actually. Power of Evil going to throw the ult in, but he doesn't do enough damage. Could be a trade. He's going to go down. Lemon falls, but now Zach going that stopple might set it up for the rest of the kills. OpTic might be doing a dive in. Doppler able to take down Expending Ole. Almost gets taken down by the bomb, but this Nova's going to be massive. Doppler tries to predict it and dodges, gets himself out though, but Power of Evil goes down to Doublelift. Acadian falls down as well. Pobelta will be the trade, but Doublelift is just too strong. Still going though. This is dangerous from OpTic. They're playing so far with fire. Arrow forced to flash. Impact chasing. Tauro is called off here.
And once again, it's just a 3 for 2. So it's just teams winning by a single kill in these skirmishes. And it's just all out right now. But that's the Infernal Drake on top of it. TL though, hold on.
Look at the Arrow trying to make coverage for the turret. Might even get a pick. Impact flashes forward. The slow's good enough for the last shot. Doublelift will get it. Here's Lemon to try and defend the turret, but I don't think it's so lucky. No, it will be for now. But the wave's still coming in. Team Liquid trying to finish this off. Doublelift walks up. Needs one more bullet. Lays it in, and that's enough.
Yep. And now TL, they're going to ping right onto that Infernal. And Doko's actually going to back. He's not going to pressure that turret, even though I think he could take it.
I think certainly could, but OpTic, maybe not enough information. In fact, also with TP actually uses it to go back to the lane. That's, sorry, Pobelta, excuse me. He's the one going up there. Infernal goes down. Liquid gained yet another objective. Not reflected in the goal, but certainly an advantage.
And it seems like they just decided to go ahead and ward up the Baron a little bit and just kind of lay a trap here. So OpTic, instead of pushing for that turret, which Doko's going to go back to do now, they instead are looking for a trap.
Ole, not a bad catch to get. Power of Evil looking for another stun lineup. Damage is good. Ole is going to go down. Acadian uses the kidnap, but it's kind of just to get back to safety.
They threw him into the bomb. It was an alley-oop right there. They knew that Ole didn't have the flash from before, and then they got to camp this area. The fact that there's even a control ward there for Acadian to auto-attack is actually what gets Ole killed.
And now this turret likely going to fall. Zig should have more than enough power to satchel it down. They need a little bit more, and Power of Evil not feeling confident.
Yeah, don't do
step
it.
forward. Yeah, I mean, don't get yourself killed in a silly way.
Yeah, and it's interesting because for Ziggs, his escape is the way that he kills the turrets. So once you do that, you can't actually get out. So I actually like the design of that ability because it's, you really do have to think about it and think about the next like 15 seconds while it's on cooldown if you're going to be in danger. Because it's kind of that, it sends off kind of an alert for the enemy. Hey, he's vulnerable, no more escapes.
Well, Power of Evil has played another really strong game. I feel like the top side of the map for OpTic picking up a lot of the slack that kind of happened with the bot lane falling behind. And Arrow, despite all the early disasters in the laning phases, just kind of got his farm, accepted what's happening, and is just trying to play the team fights as best he can.
Yeah, this has happened to him quite a bit. Like, I even think yesterday it happened as well up against Stixxay and Biofrost. He finds himself now down almost 100 CS. He's at that 99 mark. Or sorry, that 89 mark.
Getting close, but still not that far behind. Arrow will do what he can, and again, Varus pretty good in the mid game with a few items, so maybe not the best scaling, but should feel just fine given the situation in the rest of these team fights. Level 16 for that Ziggs, though. You have to just keep looking at, how much pressure can Dockle get with 2 items, 2.5 actually with level 16 now finished. Can Impact even afford to sideline him, and if so, for how much longer? OpTic, like, you look at the gold lead right now, and if the turrets were matched, it would be almost nothing in this game.
Yeah,
OpTic do not need much here.
Yeah, but then there's also 2 Infernals on a Jhin, which is ahead. So like Doublelift's gold lead is just even larger. I'm looking at his gold right now. He's actually up 4,000-ish, but hold on.
3 items slain as well. Oh, Buzzcone moves Arcadian over. Again, another good attempt at a pick here. Impact is shoving down this wave as Doppler is not quite with TP ready just yet. Is mid to try and fend off, I think, the pressure on the Baron, but now has to finally go and answer that wave. Impact will have TP advantage for 50 seconds, actually.
Yep, and we'll see if TL do anything with this window. They haven't really forced much in this game because they've just been if you force, you run into a Varus with a chain, you run into a Zillion that can slow, like control choke points and also revive, and then you have all of these kind of control areas that OpTic can create. And so it really is quite risky to do it. So TL, they're looking for a sure thing. I don't know if they're going to get one in this game, especially since we're seeing like this gold lead for Doublelift get larger and larger. Hold on.
Cadian caught out here. Again, the roots is chained together. He does have his passive, but the ulti from Lemon's going to prevent that from being needed right now. Cadian is okay. Still takes damage. Impact here TP's in, but it does cancel. Cadian lives.
Cadian lives thanks to Lemonation there. And they also got the TP out of Impact, so both TPs are down. They can't match the split push of Dokla. That seems like the winning strategy here for OpTic would be just to split the map again. Push out the bottom side after Dokla backs or cancels his back again.
It looks like this farm here I'm taking it.
I mean, there's farm bottom for him too.
He wants all the farms, Irene.
Is he even? Okay.
Here he's like, hey man, I'm like, hey, it's okay.
Yeah.
I will carry. I mean, confident certainly.
Yep.
Or Doc was just blatantly ignoring his teammates, taking all the farm away. But level 17, looking pretty good. Maybe he had an item breakpoint. We'll see what he goes back and gets. Doublelift looking for the cancel, does not grab it. And nope, Doko's still going, but we'll be there soon. And OpTic, it feels like surprisingly okay given the situation. Many other teams have been, well, this is just horrible, and it's not great, but it's a very interesting game. TL feel very unwilling to make a mistake. I think probably because of what's on the line. If they lose, they just sit in 6th.
Yeah, and
Bad luck.
OpTic have nothing to lose at this point. They are playing to improve. They are playing to upset. They're playing to make sure that they are in a good spot for summer as well. This is their last game on stage here for spring.
PoE did, I think, self-describe as the gatekeeper of playoffs, and that will prove somewhat true. He already gate-kept CLG, and at least keep TL off of anything other than 6th. Team Liquid kind of looking a little scattered. This is not the cohesive Liquid we saw yesterday, smashing Cloud9 in that game.
I feel like the composition has a lot to do with it from the side as well. Like, this is frustration incarnate here, because playing against something that's going to outsplit push you, and then you have a Ziggs and you have a Zillion, those are just nightmares.
Oh, global hit from Tom Cantor. Got a lot of mileage out of this before. Doublelift here. Impact going to look for the knockup again. This is a great way to answer the split push. Dokla flashing out of the way, but it's probably just not worth it. He's trying to escape, but can't make it back to a wall with hookshot. Will go down to Doublelift.
Yeah, they decide Abyssal Voyage time. Use the semi-global to go bottom, and then, ooh, another ultimate there from Acadian. Not going to hit.
We're going to miss on the Let's Bounce. OpTic down a pretty major cooldown. And down a man, of course. Dokka's still dead for 40 seconds.
And he flashed there too. He flashed way later in that. He didn't flash pretty much immediately to try and get over the wall when Impact had used his ulti. And so tries to use it in a desperate attempt after using the Hextech ultimatum, but the team just kind of trains him down.
Well, Impact is pressuring that bot side. See if Power Regal moves over just to throw the ulti down, but the turret is likely going to die before that's going to matter, so someone has to go over to protect that inhibitor turret. I guess I'll engage instead. Doublelift is the target.
I can't reach him.
Not going to get it. They have to set up for Ole instead. TP in. Woo! He also here finds the ulti. Stun is good. In onto Arrow, gets resurrected, but Impact again with the ulti ready. Knocks up Power of Evil. Arrow trying to get out. Burns the flash over the wall, but Acadian is going to fall to Doublelift. Arrow will be the next victim. Forced to Pobel to Swain. TL still find themselves ahead.
And that's the type of fight that you expect from a coordinated Team Liquid. They made that play down bottom, and they knew they had a man advantage with Dokla down. So they go ahead, they pull the trigger. Lemon, woo! He is burst!
He's dead. Didn't have his ulti back up. Probably wouldn't have mattered anyway as Team Liquid just destroy the poor Zillion. It is up to Power Regal, I think, just to steal this with an ultimate. This could be a tough one. Impact is going to just try and run interference. Power Regal can go whenever he wants, but they don't. Oh, they do have some vision, actually. Dokka again looking for the ulti, but Impact just takes him down. Power Regal has to get it, goes down, and they wait. Easy Baron take for Team Liquid.
Perfect stop damage there. PoE can't get it with the ulti, and that is huge for TL. They have broken this game wide open. First, wasn't looking that way. It looked like it was still pretty even, but now 9,000 gold after this play.
Yeah, Dokka's a little shut here, so what's TL just rip through OpTic Gaming.
Doublelift is fed at this point. He is now.
That's an accurate statement.
He is now 6.3 thousand gold ahead of Arrow. He's the most gold in the game by at least 3,000 over the next highest person. And he's just been finding farm at every opportunity.
I wonder what the largest individual gold lead by position is in the NLCS. I'll have to look it up later.
No, but he flamerized him at about 27, 28 minutes.
That's pretty good.
And had just been destroying ever since that first blood. Like, this is a return on investment for that first blood.
And we talked about, again, Team Liquid was sitting, 4,000 gold ahead or so. OpTic felt like they were doing a decent job stabilizing the gold lead for 10, 15 minutes, but TL were patient. They knew they were ahead. OpTic had no control of the map at all. And now they're 10,000 gold ahead, looking to close this game and have their shot at playoffs. Their shot at the high-seeded playoffs. Doctor dives in. Here's the attempt.
Looking for double lift.
Big stun there into Arrow again. Tries to kidnap one back, but the Devour is so good there from Olay to save him. Joko over the top. He's going to look for it. He takes down Olay. Gets himself out. No, the bullet follows. Double lift on a rampage. Takes down the Camille. The carries are still up for a little bit longer, but they have to dodge so much as Pobelta just flashes in to try and get the kill. Double lift finds it onto Lemon Nation. And Power of Evil just doesn't have too much to do except watch his base crumble.
Yep, they're going to start pushing in here. Double lift does so much damage there. Olay with a clutch save. Double lift pretty much was untouched in that fight thanks to the Devour.
Well, Power of Evil flashes, pops to Sarah. Team Liquid just trying to end this game now.
Remember, if TL win, we will have to play 5 games to settle the standings.
Jake wanted to play spoiler again, but it's Team Liquid surging forward. Arrow goes down to Xfinity. Double lift playing so threatening. 9-0 and 6, almost 2 shots, pretty much just takes down Power of Evil, and they will have their hat in the ring for this tiebreak. 3rd through 6 will be completely broken today, as well as first after this. Team Liquid end their season strong. Double lift, he's just trying not to die. Somebody quick, kill the Nexus. Don't let his KDA go down. It's done. They save the KDA, and Team Liquid will fight for their seed.
It's a hell of a lot better than being forced into 6th place. Now they can climb all the way up to 3rd. TL is back into those fights later on. Looking much better off the back of double lift there. 10-0 and 6 in this game. And he had enough gold to complete his build at 34 minutes.
You see Arrow kind of nodding his head there. He's like, yeah, that was a rough one. And it's kind of been the story of OpTic's season. Still played out to the end quite well. Had the upset yesterday. Certainly had some good looks here, but they will reset and move into summer. It's Team Liquid peaking at the right time, we'll certainly have to say. A team that everyone had towards the top of their power rankings. I think finally proving some of that now that they're in a big bout for these playoff seeds. Foldy sheet at the ready.
Yep. Echo Fox versus 100 Thieves for those first round buys. They're locked in, but who's number 1, who's number 2? But then TL, Cloud9, TSM, and Clutch Gaming have a 4-way tie for 3 through 6.
Yeah, normally it's the other way around. You have the mini fights before and then the title fight right at the end. This time instead it's the title fight to kick things off. But enough from us to hear more about the game that triggered a 4-way tie in 3rd. Let's send it to the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much. Pastry time. Do you guys like League of Legends?
Yeah, dude.
Good.
I love
We got
League of
5
Legends.
more games coming your way
Foldy
as a
sheet.
result of Team Liquid
Foldy sheet
taking
did
down
not
OpTic.
fold up for the first
You had
time
to
all
fold down.
day.
I got it.
These
right
two
there.
have been trying to fold this sheet, by the way, for about 5 minutes straight.
The Foldy sheet is done.
I got the full fold.
Get in
Quest,
there.
Clutch, TSM 100, and TL means we get a tie for first. Oh, Mark's got it.
Yeah, there you go. That's
beautiful.
the good.
Well
Oh,
done,
I'm loose.
Mark. Well done.
Get out of
here.
Stop,
Mine
guys.
too.
Come on. Okay, you both get gold stars. Congratulations. Can we talk about the game we just saw?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's
Do you
talk.
want to?
I don't know if
TL
I
is
really
the
want
tiebreaker
to.
as well.
We had
Yeah.
a Ziggs and a Zillion. I was intrigued by that. Not too much success, though. Once again, the Swain goes through. We're really starting to see the power of that Swain along with some other tanks and the ability to push forward in fights and sustain through the length of them.
Also, a bunch of squishies for a Jhin that got first blood level 1 is not a great
That
start
helps.
to the fight. I mean, TL did struggle to play this game out and actually finish things off. Some fancy footwork out of Power of Evil kind of elongates this game as he ended up like 5-2 and 2 at some point.
Power Evil was looking good. They were within a couple thousand gold at some points.
Yep.
An OpTic win would have made it so that TL would have just been 6th in the regular season. Now they still have a chance to finish a few spots higher than that.
As third.
They could finish
The
as
most
high as
TL
third.
thing to do, though, will be to still finish 3rd after making
even sixth.
Excuse me,
Still
6th. Yeah,
finish
still
sixth.
finish
Tiebreaker.
6th after all that. Yeah.
Anyway, like this game, Power Evil was trying to clutch it. I feel like OpTic was just trying to build off of the AP Ezreal. Let's kind of just play whatever Dokler wants to try and style on with the Camille. Let's let Power of Evil try and scale up to late game. But they were against Swain Ornn, and you need so much damage to deal with that.
Look at how much damage Arrow is even putting on this fight. And at this time, he had a Rage Blade, along with the
he had a recurve bow again.
A recurve bow and a
if he wasn't 3,000 gold behind, that fight would have gone great.
It would have gotten much better.
No.
Acadian with a bit of a bad play there since Dokler was already dead. That was definitely an opportunity before in the game when 3 people went bot lane with no TP on Ornn that OpTic could have gone for Baron. When they didn't do that, and then Acadian died afterwards.
A little bit of a last-ditch effort here as well. Probably didn't need to, but they took the fight they thought they could win. Doesn't turn out that way, however close it was. Tried to mount the base defense as well, but ultimately the strength of Team Liquid will push through for the victory. So really now what we got to do is turn our attention towards these 5 tiebreaker matches that we got coming up.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited for this. You can see Doublelift right there.
Wow, that damage.
45,000 damage. I actually really like that Jhin is back in the meta on patch 8.5 because I feel like against team compositions that don't have a strong front line, it's really good, so it keeps you honest in these drafts.
There's some interesting synergies, too, in terms of, like, working with Swain, where your W, if you get a long-range route, will lead to a
there were some
game.
gross CC chains in that game.
Yeah, there are a couple, so I really like seeing the kind of synergies TL built with that comp. A couple more than you would initially think than just like, oh, it's a bunch of power picks.
Yeah, and as well, it's kind of a tough situation to analyze because from the side of OpTic, a team that's already been pretty vocal about, hey, we're gonna put trust in our players and the picks that they want to bring out, on top of the fact that you already know you don't have a shot at the playoffs. This would be the time to bring something out, to try something new and say, hey, looking towards Summer Split, do we have more options? Can we play more outside the meta than the other teams are? And is that the way we're going to find our victories?
Yeah, I think OpTic definitely wants to think about that as they move to next. And also, by not winning that game, they made sure that the playoffs start early, Dash. We have, as you mentioned, 5 tiebreaker games.
Yep. We get 5 tiebreaker games between all 6 of the teams that will be in the playoffs.
That has never happened in the history of the LCS, I'm willing to say.
And also, too, the fact that there's only 1 game separating those entire
From
top
first to
6.
sixth.
From first to 6th. We've had teams with under 500 records making it into playoffs in the past. The lowest scoreline you got here now is 11-7. That's just a crazy, heavy top side of the league.
We have no 18-0 or 17-1 teams, as you can see. But we also have 3 teams, and even 4 teams there that aren't really that close to the playoffs. So 4-game divide between 6th and 7th. This is the most compressed, as you say, we've ever seen.
Right, taking a look at that bracket, you got 100, Thieves, and Fox currently tied for first, and will battle it out over their seeding in the semifinals. And then there's actually that 4-way tie for third, which will result in 4 other tiebreaker matches, the order of which will be determined during the 100 Thieves versus Fox tiebreaker. So we don't have that lined out for you just yet.
Those will be populated at a later date.
There are 4 more games to come, but first we're going to get that first place tiebreaker between 100 Thieves and Echo Fox.
Yeah, and I think the way that they're doing the other tiebreakers to decide the order of the games is they're doing drawings out of them, at which point team representatives will be deciding what sides they want to play.
And they will play through a bracket. Winners play winners, losers play losers for the final seeding of 3 through 6. And now while we are charting the tiebreaker possibilities, you were tweeting out the big plays befitting of the final week of the regular season. And here are a few of our favorites, brought to you by Acer Predator. First up, Arno de Smet is saying the words we all hate to hear after Power of Evil's game versus Counterlogic Gaming. Gonna start playing AP Ezreal mid in solo queue. Great.
A little bit of distance there. How far do they want it? They abduct him back. Big damage onto Hui. Gets that heal down. One last shot.
I'm ulting here. I'm ulting here. I'm on watching. I got him.
Yeah, look at Tom. Look at Tom.
Okay, I'm gonna play aggro bot.
Nice.
Now they're onto the backside of the fight. It's going to possibly be Biofrost going down.
I'm hitting mid.
Look at this guy. Bottom.
Got him.
Nice.
Kuki on the left side. Dokla focuses the inhibitor as they take more of the base and just start to wear Counter Logic Gaming thin.
Those are the types of picks that attract a special kind of person, I feel like, because they're the no CC, no wave clear, no early pressure, good late game.
Right.
So if you win,
If I scale.
it's going to look like you did a lot. But you'll know deep down that you did not.
I mean, I remember watching that game, Jad, and you were like, just wait. Because Mark and I were like,
Just
where's the
wait.
damage?
I mean,
Where's
it's
the
true.
damage? But Jad's
True.
like, just wait. Just wait.
Yes,
4 items. Give him 4 items.
And then it happened.
And then it happened. He
Technically,
turned
it worked.
on, and he ran over some people.
Yep.
Next up, Orion LP has an offer for the 100 Thieves mid laner. I want Ryu to be my getaway driver. That Baron sneak was crazy. Let's take a look.
Good timing here for 100 Thieves. Going to try and rush it down. Dardoch not going to make it into the pit. Afro looking for the disengage. Goes down. Feeds from Sunday. Secures in the Baron. Here comes the round warp out. See you later, 100 Thieves.
All right, they know. Rush. Rush it up. I'm gonna ulti them and come back.
Right for it. I'm gonna burst it.
Send it flash. Finish it. Or right for it. I'm gonna block.
Nice. Get the blue.
I feel like that's a joint big play. Because Afro Moo picking up the Sedge there was pretty huge.
And I also feel like a getaway driver who can teleport 5 people out would suddenly be very good at heist.
Very useful.
I think everyone would want that getaway driver.
It doesn't make the tweet untrue.
As long as you don't get hit by CC mark.
It's not really fair to hold other getaway drivers to that standard.
That's also a good point. Now,
Have you seen
please
baby
continue
drivers?
sending out those
Always
tweets
good.
throughout the playoffs using the hashtag NALCS, and we'll continue sharing your big plays all the way to the finals. We're going to take a breather. When we return, it's tiebreaker number 1, 100 Thieves versus Echo Fox.
First